Yeah. All right. Welcome to our Sunday night reset. Uh, I have my new absolute favorite mug. It's a little ghost. Not usually a Halloween type of person, but I don't know. This one is just cute and it just tickles that special little place where I like to do something fun. So I think it also felt appropriate for the Sunday night reset to try to make it even a little bit fun, a little bit whimsical. I always talk about creating an atmosphere for your Sunday night reset. And um, that might be like lighting the candle, or in this case, it was making sure that my favorite mug was clean. I also happen to be drinking my favorite cinnamon tea tonight. So all of that is what helps me make it feel like it's something special. Now I'm trying to do this without spilling everything. Perfect. And then I still don't like it. Love that. Perfect. So, as we get started here, make sure you have something that feels fun to you. So, whether that's a fun beverage, maybe that's just a fun mug, you light a candle, maybe you're curled up in your favorite chair, grabbing your favorite blanket, making sure you've got your journal and a pen because we are going to be doing some journaling at some point in here. And so our Sunday night reset tonight is really going to be focusing on releasing stress, particularly the stress from the past week, and seeing what we can do to maybe not feel as stressed going into the coming week. I mean, that's always a nice goal, right? Is to be trying to focus on what's going to feel good in the week coming up. So I want you to take a moment. If you're here live, wonderful, welcome. Love to see you here. If you're catching the replay and you need to kind of like pause this and make sure you gather all your gear together so that you have your journal, your pen, you're in someplace comfy, you've got a nice beverage, you've got your atmosphere set. Because I want this to feel like a date with yourself. I want every Sunday night when we do this to feel like a date with you, a way to wrap up the past week, kind of always an opportunity to take stock, to check in, to see what felt good. And then as we take a peek into the coming week, as we look forward, um, I'm finding it's helping me, to take a moment and to look at what the week ahead is going to look like. And I started inadvertently doing this with my boyfriend, is that Sunday mornings are really like our date time. It's the time where we don't have work stuff, we don't have other obligations, and we can like sit down and have breakfast and really take a moment to connect. And part of our connection is to talk about how our week ahead is looking. So that's something that we'll be looking at this week. And when we get to that journaling part of the reset tonight, so I want you, as always, we're going to start with our meditation. So I want you to find a spot that feels good and comfy. Kind of sit however feels best for you. So if you feel more comfortable lying down, feel free to do that. If you feel more comfortable seated, do that. I want you to find however it feels best and most relaxing for you. So make sure your back feels supported. Make sure your seat feels supported. Sit up nice and tall. I want your shoulders to relax. If it feels safe to do so, we're going to let our eyes close and just let the arms relax down to our side. Let your legs relax, however that feels comfortable to you. And take a moment and let's focus on our breath. Just focus on the in and out. We're not going to change anything about it. Just notice that you breathe in and notice that you breathe out. And as you breathe in, how does it feel as you breathe in through the nose and out through the mouth? Do you smell anything? Maybe it's the candle that you lit. Maybe it's something cooking in the kitchen. Maybe it's the tea, the coffee, the water that you're drinking. What do you hear as you breathe in and out? Were you able to find maybe a quiet, relaxing spot? Maybe you're hearing the noise of the neighborhood or the noise of your household. How are you feeling in this moment? Any and all feelings, but since we're kind of focusing on the stress release part of it, are you feeling stressed tonight or whenever you're catching this? So it's kind of like two sides of the coin. What are you feeling? Acknowledging that, honoring that, not judging it. And what would you like to feel? What would feel good for the rest of your evening, maybe for the rest of your week? So now we're going to take a little bit of a lasered focus on our breathing. We're going to do some equal ratio breathing here tonight. So we're going to breathe in to a count of 4 and then breathe out to a count of 4. So really just being slow, mindful, and intentional with our breath, taking our time, and really focusing on filling up the lungs as much as we can, really getting that big, expansive breath of air, and then really squeezing out those lungs, kind of like a breath reset here. So on that next inhale, I want you to inhale for a count of 4, sorry. So you're going to inhale, 2, 3, 4, and then exhale, 2, 3, 4. Deep inhale, 2, 3, 4, and exhale, 2, 3, 4. And again, inhale, 2, 3, 4, and exhale, 2, 3, 4. Here we go. One more time. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, and slowly release, 2, 3, 4. Wonderful. Just let your breathing return to its natural pattern. So starting at the top of our head, I want you to focus on relaxing your forehead. If you need to bring your hands to your forehead and maybe your temples, just kind of give you that little self massage to like focus on actually releasing the tension you might be holding in your forehead. Reminder to relax. Drop the tongue from the roof of your mouth. Soften through your jaw. And again, if you want to bring your hands to kind of that point in your jaw, give it a nice little massage, a little rub, and then maybe just a gentle stroke down to just really actually remind you to let that jaw relax. Let it soften. Take a moment here and just give yourself that nice little self massage. Maybe you need to bring some of that through across the sinuses. Maybe you want to start to bring that massage down the throat. So see if we can't let your throat relax. Kind of maybe let that muscles to the side of our neck relax. Bring that hand to the back of our neck. Give it a couple of nice little squeezes here. Maybe even bring the fingertips to that kind of little orbital bones, I think they are, at the back of the head. You just give yourself that nice little face massage here. Good. Relax through your shoulders. And if you need to, roll those shoulders up and down. dropping them away from our ears. Then I want you to maybe bring that hand to our heart center if we need to give ourselves a little reminder. I know it feels like we can't soften through our chest, but just to kind of relax through the chest and maybe let that hand even come down to our belly and let that stomach relax. Stop sucking it in, stop holding it in. You don't have to press it out, but can you relax through that tummy here? Can your arms feel and float heavy to the side? Let your legs kind of sink into the space beneath you. And just come into this space of like full relaxation from the top of your head down to your toes. Almost like you're kind of just floating here, letting that space beneath you hold you. And I want you to imagine you're laying somewhere comfortable, whether that's where you're laying right now, whether you want to be relaxing on a beach, laying in a hammock, laying in your bed, laying in a nice grassy field, on a blanket on a picnic. We should lay somewhere where it feels relaxing to you. And I want you to take a moment to think about the past week. And what situations, what moments brought you stress in the last week? And either write them down on a piece of paper in your mind, put them in a bubble, put them in a balloon, put them in on a feather, on a flower, whatever it is, a stick, whatever, whatever kind of substance makes sense to you. Because we're going to release these tensions here, right? So something that makes sense for you to release and let go. Everything from maybe spilling your coffee to getting a hole in a sock to not having your favorite shirt be washed to forgetting to set something out for dinner to work stress to family stress to friendship stress to whatever it was, big, small, anything that feels like you want to put it down to release. And as you've filled out what you're going to fill out, I want you to let it go. So maybe you're releasing stuff to the air and the breeze to let it be taken away. Maybe you're placing it in the water for the water to wash it away. Maybe you're somewhere with a nice roaring fire that you want to burn these stresses. How are you going to release them? Send them away from you. These are no longer yours to carry, no longer yours to worry about. And knowing that we're coming into a new week, and yes, there will be stress. We can't avoid that. But in the past week, how did you look at your stress? And maybe how can you feel more prepared if you know that there are going to be similar situations in the coming week? How can you take care of yourself? And maybe what we need to do is to find this space of peace, of knowing this is all temporary and I can come back to this space to release this stress and tension when I need to. It is not mine to carry all on my own. I am worthy of a stress-free week. I am deserving of joy this week. I am deserving of ease this week. I am deserving of a slow, relaxing time. I deserve to take care of myself. I deserve to find some peace in my week. What's an affirmation you want to repeat to yourself this week when you find the stress, when you find the overwhelm, when it feels like the week is really weaking, is really lifing? What's a affirmation that you can come back to? Let yourself feel a little bit lighter as you start this brand new week, full of so much promise, so much opportunity, so much to look forward to. So let's take a moment. Maybe find another nice deep breath in and out. Maybe take some time to find a little wiggle to the fingers, toes. Maybe start to find that nice big stretch, bringing yourself back into the space, back into the room, back into your body. As we come out of our meditation tonight, feel free, if you're watching the replay, pause the video. If you're here with me live, just take a moment, blinking those eyes open, grabbing a sip of some water, some tea, whatever you've got. Get yourself a little hydrated here. Then I want you to grab your journal, open it up to whatever page you have set for tonight. So part of what we want to do as our journaling practice tonight is to think about being prepared. So much of why stress can feel so overwhelming and so debilitating is because we haven't set something of a plan. Now, listen, I know that it feels like, how am I supposed to plan for stress? Stress is not plannable, not always. No. But I want you to reflect on your week ahead. I think by looking at our week, we're going to know, hey, I have a meeting with so-and-so, and sometimes that can get a little stressful, getting prepared for it, presenting and doing follow-up. Or I have a doctor's appointment this week and I'm a little bit stressed about that. I have a meeting with whoever, you know what your week is going to look like. And so I know that you can probably pinpoint spots where maybe the schedule's a little bit tight, where there's going to be stresses in your week. You know that. You're not going to be able to plan for all of them, but you know that there's going to be spots in your week. So I want you to first think about last week. This is a little all over the place. But as you reflect on last week, are you going to have similar stresses coming up? And when you look at how you handled the stress last week, are there things you wish you would have done differently? Are there things you could do differently? Are there things you want to do differently? So as you're looking at your week ahead and you notice maybe some similarities, you can be like, oh, I didn't handle that well. How do I change that? So maybe that's by making sure your lunch and breakfast are ready to go the night before so that you're not stressed in the morning when you're trying to get everybody up and out the door. And maybe it is about making sure that it's communicated well what's happening for dinner so that you're not stressed when you get home when something like that goes wrong and maybe you're on more of a health journey and you didn't want to eat out, or so you're trying to plan for that to make sure that that's not a stress that you have to deal with. And maybe it's about making sure that, hey, I know that I'm maybe not going to get to the gym as much, and that's really great for my stress relief. How can I plan some walks throughout my day? How can I get my physical activity in if I can't do my usual? Maybe it's about putting your favorite coffee or your favorite little snack on the grocery list this week so that you have that as a little treat. You have that as something to look forward to if you have a particularly stressful day that maybe you were planning, maybe that you weren't planning. Okay. So that's what I want you to journal and think about is how can I stress proof my life this coming week? I'm not going to do this we're not going to hedge on this. What can I do to help myself be less stressed in the coming week? Is that scheduling that manicure? Is that, maybe it is putting that special lip gloss that you want, that facial, that whatever it is that's going to make you feel good, putting that on the calendar, in your cart, whatever that might be. Maybe it's making sure you reach out to that particular friend. Maybe it's buying a new book. So there are so many ways that you can start to take care of yourself by being proactive in the coming week. And that is really what part of the Cozy Glow challenge has been, is about learning how to be proactive, learning about all of these tools. Maybe it's making sure that you catch the meditation video or the meditation for Monday. Those are always really good. Maybe it's making sure you stop and watch the yoga video that comes out on Wednesday. The one from this past week was a meditation and movement. Sometimes I like to habit stack like that. I like to do both of them so that I feel like I'm getting both of the things I really need into one. I was going to say like one class or one block of time. Okay. And here's the other thing. Once you have figured out kind of how you want to be proactive in handling your stress this week, I want you to think about the stress that you had last week and where can you forgive yourself? Where can you forgive yourself for not handling the stress in the way that you wanted to? How can you be kind to yourself for maybe blowing up at somebody, for maybe overeating, for maybe sleeping too much, for doom scrolling too late, for however you handle the stress? It got you through. It got you through to the end of the week. It got you here. It got you to a brand new week and a brand new day. So that's why we want to do this reflection, is so that we can look forward and be like, okay, I didn't like the way I felt by handling it that way. I want to do something different. If you want to do something different, this is your chance. We're forgiving ourselves for what happened, but we're looking forward with a renewed sense of I deserve to take care of myself and I deserve to handle my stress in a way that feels healthy to me. Make sense? If not, drop a comment, let me know, and I can do a follow-up video if we want to do more on the stress relief part of it, because I think that's something that feels so common that we should know how to do, but I think sometimes gets overlooked because it feels like it's so common and you should already know how to do it, right? Little catch 22. That's so lovely. But always let me know in the comments maybe what resonated for you. How do you plan to go forward in the next week to stress proof your life just a little bit? Remember, this is not about perfection. This is not about 100% no stress ever. That is not possible. How can you approach this week with a positive attitude and in a way that feels like you are being supported, heard, and understood? So, hopefully, this gave you a sense of kind of how to approach this new week with a sense of love, kindness, and compassion for yourself. I appreciate you spending your Sunday night resetting the week with me. I enjoy doing these. I enjoy taking a moment for not only you all, but for myself as well. It gives me into a space of, oh, okay, I can do this too. I can set myself up for success by forgiving myself for ways I didn't maybe show myself the compassion I deserve. And then going forward into the next week, giving myself the compassion I know that I deserve. So have a wonderful week, stress-free as possible. Drop a comment in the video below if you've got further questions. If you want to celebrate how you handled your stress, we are here for that as well. And if there are other topics relating to a Sunday night reset that you would like to hear, whether that's stress, meditation, anything underneath this whole big umbrella, drop that below as well. I love to see that. That helps me get better and fresher ideas for this as well. So with that, send you back out into the day, into your life. And I hope you will join me next Sunday for another Sunday night reset.